Now, let's just start over.
Should we start over?
Yeah, they didn't hear
Okay.
the song. So.
We'll do them again. Yeah.
Especially
And
when I
then,
request it.
and then I will let you know, which I shared with you, which you didn't hear. Just quickly, I have a round Band-Aid on my nose tonight. You can't really see it very well because they have this great color that they give me when I left. I got the Mohs procedure done today, MOHS, by Dr. Bayer in Duluth here at Essentia, and he did a fabulous job after the first time he went in. He completed the work, and so that's been done. It was basal cell carcinoma. And I'm telling you this because I recommend that if you see something on your skin that you haven't seen before and it's been there for a while, go in, catch it right away, and hopefully you can go on from there. So that's what's happening here. And of course, I shared with you my shirt is from my very good friend who runs Hypnotist Collector on Instagram. And I'm just sharing that with you because I like to buy locally and I just love the things that she puts on her site. So that's what I'm wearing tonight. Kate's wardrobe tonight is from Hypnotist Collector. And Bill's going to get started with At the Cabin.
Yep. Here goes the show, folks. I was just out the cabin.
Now this time I'll be on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Better already.
Oh, yeah.
Way better.
In the coolness of the morning, when the geese are on the lake, we take a cup of coffee, step outside to start the day, and watch the bald eagles soaring high above the trees. It's almost like they're putting on a show for you and me. In summer we go swimming, in the winter strap our snowshoes on. In spring the leaves are budding, by late October they're nearly gone. But the fire's always crackling and the air is sweet and clean. The flora and the fauna and the cedar and the sauna, you know what I mean. Blue heron does a slow strut in the grass across the bay. He's waiting for some tender little fish to pass his way. Got one eye on the water and the other on the nest. Of all the places in this world, I love this one the best. I'll skip the fancy solo.
Okay.
When I head out to the cabin and the city's far behind, I leave that county highway for a different state of mind. When I open up the car door and I step out on the land, it's pretty much as close as I can get to who I am. In the coolness of the morning, when the geese are on the lake, oh, it's really funny if you had been a lip reader earlier in the show, you would have heard me say everybody liked our sound last week, so we set it up just like that. Actually, all I did here is this is a USB microphone, goes into the computer. All I did was unplug it and plug it back in. Started working instantly. So I don't know why that is, why it happened. Maybe it's because it's been sitting here on for about 2 hours.
We'll check our notes again pretty soon. Make sure everything's working well.
Yeah. And
So-
there's a green line over here. You
Oh,
can
I
see
see.
that. See, it
Okay.
shows it's working.
So we're going to share with you, thank you, Aaron, for requesting this next song called Walking Down My Street. Here we go.
We're pretty impressed you guys sat there laughing at us for 17 minutes.
Wow. Oh, is that long?
Yeah.
Oh, my
But
gosh.
she, Paula did try to call Kate, and our phones are muted. If somebody would have called me, I would have seen it though, because even though my phone's muted, it would have said call waiting or something, and then I would have. What?
You want to just check one more time, see if there's any other.
Watching.
Okay.
My favorite, Aaron.
All right, great. Okay. Thank you, Aaron.
Paula said, yeah, start over. Yeah. You know, it's kind of funny. I was so sure I'd have everything ready this time. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go here.
1,
All right.
2.
They didn't hear the Flight of the Scrub Jay song either, so we'll get to that maybe later.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoops, I just bumped the side camera with my guitar. What are we doing?
Walking down my street.
Oh, walking down my street. Oh, yeah. Seems like we just did it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's do it again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
As I'm walking down my street, I can hardly believe that this life and this love are here for me right now.
Keep going.
Hawks kettle in the sky, getting ready to fly down south before the first snow flies. Is this real or is this just a good dream? Walking down my street, I can hardly believe that this life and love are here for me. Walking down my street, sun shines on the bright white snow. The ice is getting thin on the edges of the sidewalk as it crunches under my boots.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Apples cling to a barren tree, dark red against the blue sky. I'm smiling, I'm crying, and I'm alive. Is this real or is this just a good dream? Walking down my street, I can hardly believe that this life and love are here for me. Walking down my street. Now I hear the robins sing. As I look down to our lake, I see the oar boats all lined up, and the Coast Guard cutter is breaking through the ice. Is this real or is this just a good dream? Walking down my street, I can hardly believe that this life and love are here for me. Walking down my street, thinking of you, my friend. You're gone, but you're here with me. Walking down my street, walking down my street, walking down my street. All right, that's for you, Aaron. All right, the next song that I've put on, I think every song list since we started doing this, will be on every song list. It's Bill's song called Weightless. And Linda and Pete, I know you'll enjoy this, both of you. So
It's kind of fun. I'm going through this big box of all my old writing and everything, all the way back to the beginning, and it's been really fun. I have sheet music that I wrote back when I was 21 years old, and I found the original Yellow Pad lyrics for Weightless. It was originally called Slip Away. Actually, it wasn't. It was originally called Nothing at All because I had just written the verses, and except for that verse, it does have Slip Away at the end of every verse, the phrase. So, and that's in the chorus now too. But I just thought the word weightless was more operative in titling a song, and more apropos to the story that I'm telling here. And I wrote it in Nashville. It's the only song I've ever written in Nashville. I was staying at a friend's house, and I wrote a couple of the verses, the second and third verses, and then I late at night, like 2, 3 in the morning. And then I went out to coffee in the morning at the Sylvan Park Coffee House. I can't remember what it was called, but and then I wrote the first verse when I was there. I played it out that night, and Pete and Pat Luboff was there. They're songwriting teachers in Nashville, and they're friends of Barbara Cloyd, who was hosting the songwriter night. It was at Borders Bookstore along in West End, and I had one of those moments that really affected me as a writer. When I did this song, they leaned over to Barbara and whispered to her. She told me this later. She said, "They said, don't let Nashville ruin him." That's why I left. So I just had to find my own way, I guess. So. And I didn't get ruined. So here's Weightless. When I was 9, I got a pony. I just brushed and rode him every day. Sorry about that. Thinking. But in my teens, I got distracted. I knew my dad would haul the hay. I was gone when Daddy sold him. Hanging downtown every day. Another kid would feed and ride him. What we don't love will surely slip away. I used to dream that I was weightless. I'd just push off and take to flight. But that was all before the hurtin' wrapped its weight around my night. Now my feet are firmly planted. The sailing ship stays anchored in the bay. I still recall those dreams, but knowing the memories will fade, slip away, slip away. Memories will fade and slip away, slip away. Memories will fade and slip away. I always thought that I could fix it, but there it's shattered on the floor. Its shape is gone, I don't remember what part goes where now anymore. Everyone thought ours was lovely, and around so long it's bound to stay. But we both knew its days were numbered. We lost our grip, let it slip away, slip away. We lost our grip, let it slip away, slip away. We lost our grip, let it slip away. I used to dream that I was weightless. I'd just push off and take to fly. Thanks, everybody. So I got up at 3:25 a.m. a couple of days ago and went out on the lake at our cabin and took the boat out because I couldn't have seen it otherwise, and out to the partway out into the middle of the lake. It's not a very big lake, but it gave me a nice view of the northeastern sky, and I got to see the Neowise comet, which is amazing. It's the brightest comet that we've had in about over 20 years. And it's going to be around for a few more weeks, so look up, see how to see the Neowise comet from your area. It varies because the farther north you are, you have a better chance of seeing it. But get into a dark area where you can see the north. Now it's going to be the northwestern sky, and it's going to be after sunset, coming up in a few days here, I think. And I know I had friends that saw it last night at 4 a.m. And so it's really amazing to see something like that. I still remember seeing the Hale-Bopp comet back in 1998. And you think about this thing, it's got an orbit. It brings it by the sun. It's actually right now it's closer to us than the sun is. It's 65 million miles away, and the sun's 93 million miles, I believe. I haven't checked lately, and a lot of times comets will just dissolve when they get to the sun, but this one made it, and it's on its way back out into orbit, and its orbit is 6. I typed it wrong online, but it's actually 6,800 years. That's how long it's going to be before it comes around again. So I bet you most people won't even remember my jokes by then. Although some of them are that old now, and probably people, I remember them. But yeah, go see the comet. Pretty awesome.
So I can't take you home next.
I mean, you can see pictures of it online. They're beautiful photographs people have taken. They even take them from the International Space Station. That's pretty amazing. But when you see it with your naked eye, you don't need binoculars. You don't need a telescope to see it. You can see it with your naked eye. But bring binoculars. Bring good binoculars, because then when you're looking at it, you get to see the tail and everything. It's pretty amazing. Otherwise, it looks like a little smear with a dot in the sky. But pretty awesome.
So we do I Can't Take You Home next. I don't know if you need a cable for that.
I can't take it home. I'll do that. I'll do that right here.
I'm going to share with you a duet called I Can't Take You Home, and this is one that Bill did on his very first CD that I purchased. I love that CD. It was called Weightless, and he sang this with Becky Schlegel, who did a beautiful job.
Yep. I was looking through my notes. I guess I missed that part that I was looking through all my notes of my songs. Did I say that after we came?
I think you said it since we've
before
been
we had
back.
sound? Oh, yeah. I found the original for this one too, and that was it was called I Won't. At first, I won't take you home. Even though you're asking, I won't do it. No. And oh no, negatory. I wasn't used to being alone. I was pacing by the phone. I went out, not knowing what to do.
And I went walking down a street, didn't know we'd ever meet and go somewhere to have a cup or two. But I can't take you home, and I can't lay you down, and I can't stay the whole night through, because I barely know me.
I said something that made you laugh.
And I pulled out a photograph and talked about the way things used to be.
I said, yeah, I've been there too. I'm sorry for what you've been through.
And I liked your eyes when you said that thing to me.
But I can't take you home, and I can't lay you down, and I can't stay the whole night through, because I barely know me. I can't take you home, and I can't lay you down, and I can't stay the whole night through, because I barely know me. I saw you once in a while, and in between I'd see your smile. Then one day you said you saw mine too.
I never thought I'd trust again, but slowly saw this thing begin, and I began to see myself in you.
And then you took me home, then you laid me down.
I have my phone.
I can hear your phone in the other room. Is that this song being played in the other room? They couldn't hear it though, because they couldn't even hear the air conditioner last week. We turned it off today. We had 17 minutes. We could have left it on. It's getting warm in here now. Time to roll up the sleeves. So speaking of oarboats, in Kate's song "Walking Down My Street," we had an interesting little incident today with an oarboat. Once in a while, we have an odd thing happen here. One time, one of them wasn't an oarboat; it was a salty that broke from its moorings and went aground along the beach. You know, the beach where everybody's swimming and everything, and near the beach anyway. That took a while to get that out of there. But today, the Presque Isle, which is one of the larger oarboats, loaded up a load of taconite pellets, was riding low out underneath our famous aerial lift bridge, and it had trouble making the turn, and it grazed the pier. And it went scraping along for quite a while. It was like,
You wouldn't want your hand hanging over the ledge.
because it's
with
no,
that.
that would pull the hand out before the giant. And we've sailed with my sister near those. You know, you have to wait there. If there's an oarboat coming through, you have to wait for it. So you're sitting there just kind of idling and waiting for the oarboat to come through before you can motor out through the canal out into the lake to go sailing. And when that boat comes through, it's like a town coming by you. It's a massive, massive thing. You know, some were over 1,000 feet long. And so it's pretty interesting. For those of you from Duluth, just check on the news. It was on, it's online. I don't remember where I saw it, but yeah, they had somebody. There's always somebody down there videoing the boats. So if there's ever an incident, it'll be on tape, on tape. Yeah, on tape. Yeah.
On your cassette player. All right, so the next song
messages real quick while you
I put
introduce
on
it.
the set list is, we haven't done this very often. Bill wrote this song when we were part of a project in Duluth here called Noteworthy, where local poets submitted poems and local musicians chose the poems. They didn't know who wrote them, and were to do something with it, write a song, write an instrumental. So he chose this poem by Linda Marie Rehaluma, and it was about the railroad tracks down the trains, and it's called Clacka Clacka Tracks. Right?
Fun stuff.
Something like that.
People are saying some fun stuff here.
All right. So I think you'll enjoy this. I like this one. We do this often when we were...
Bonnie Vining, she put it well. She says, "You know you're loved when 36 people sit around for 15 minutes just watching you silently."
We're glad you're with us. We hope you're doing well.
Hey, Mike Pengra.
Hi, Mike. Since I have to share with you, if you don't mind. We love Radio Heartland, and I am so inspired when I listen to Radio Heartland. There's something about that show that inspires me every time, and there's a fabulous person that runs that show, and his voice, you'll just love it, Mike Pengra. So enjoy Radio Heartland's show. I don't know the hours, I'm sorry, I can't remember, but it's a fabulous show. So just Google it and press listen live, and there you are. It just takes seconds.
I think they play your song "Little Blue" on there.
All right, well, we have that in for tonight. So
what are we doing next?
we're doing Clacka Clacka Tracks.
So I got this poem. I'm always looking for oddity. I should be an auditor because I'm always looking for oddities.
Ooh,
Yeah.
clever, brilliant.
So this batch of poems, I wrote November Bloom on the same project only, over 10 years ago. So I found this poem. It was about living near the railroad tracks. and all the industrial noises and everything. And I thought, that's interesting. That's different than what people normally write about. And so the poem was in a tempo, but I didn't feel it had a railroad tempo. So I just kind of came up with my own guitar part and melody, and then I picked phrases out of the poem to put into this story. And I changed a few things, which we're allowed to do in the project. You can do it anything you want with it. And so here it is, called the Clack-a-Clack-a Tracks. I hear the clack-a-chatter of the tracks as the cars are swaying back and forth and back. Steam is blowing billows from the stack of the train chugging down the clack-a-clack-a tracks, clack-a-clack-a tracks. It's the background music of my days, nasal whistles crying through the haze. It's the drowsy rhythm of my nights, with the factory sounds of locomotive lights. I hear the clack-a-chatter of the tracks as the cars are swaying back and forth and back. Steam is blowing billows from the stack of the train chugging down the clack-a-clack-a tracks, clack-a-clack-a tracks. From my window seat I look across the tracks to the salmon-colored factory in the back. Cars all loaded high with iron ore, rolling down to Lake Superior's shore. I hear the clack-a-chatter of the tracks as the cars are swaying back and forth and back. Steam is blowing billows from the stack of the train chugging down the clack-a-clack-a tracks, clack-a-clack-a tracks. Well, my window's frosted half the year, but what I cannot see, I always hear at dusk and dawn, midnight and noon. Rails calling out to clack-a-clack-a tunes. I hear the clack-a-chatter of the tracks as the cars are swaying back and forth and back. Steam is blowing billows from the stack of the train chugging down the clack-a-clack-a tracks, clack-a-clack-a tracks, clack-a-clack-a tracks, clack-a-clack-a tracks. Are we doing Girl?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to try something new. Remember last week, Kate played the flute? Well, I'm going to play the mandolin now.
So this is a song I wrote
Maybe.
probably about 20 years ago.
Not much room here.
And actually, it started because I was I took the bus all the time. I worked downtown Duluth at the Holiday Inn, and I must have seen a young woman at the bus station waiting for her bus, and that's how this song starts.
Give me a second, because I may have to check my tuning now.
Okay, so the song is called "Girl," and I think it's on its way to being a finished song, so I'd like to share this with you. I think I've shared it a couple times.
We're both in the process of finishing up some 5 to 15-year-old songs. That's good enough.
Remember, just play gently and quietly.
Oh, I would always play gently and quietly, except for when you're not singing. You know, rip into it, yeah.
Let's see how. Okay, okay, all right.
It's all yours.
I think I was.
I'm gonna
picking
come in
this.
later.
I think I was doing this.
Yeah, you were.
Something like that. Where are you going in this world, girl? I see you downtown, I see you waiting for that bus. You're holding on to your little one with another on the way. You look at me, do you think I've got it made? Well, Well, I was once you, and girl, I was waiting for that bus. But I looked up to the skies and I saw the birds fly. Saw the birds flying, girl. Saw the birds fly, girl. Saw the birds flying, girl. I saw the birds fly. You live on the south side of town, your door's stay locked, but inside it's warm and clean, supper on the table. Well, I might look put together to you, but I've lived hard, love. Still I look up to the heavens and I thank the Lord above. Thank the Lord above, girl. Thank the Lord above, girl. Thank the Lord above, girl. I thank the Lord above. When night falls and the workday ends, you make a cup of tea and you check the locks again. You turn the lights down low, story time begins. Then you wish 'em sweet dreams, kiss 'em goodnight, tuck them in. Tuck them in, girl. Tuck them in, girl. Tuck them in, girl. Tuck them in. Kiss 'em goodnight. Wish 'em sweet dreams. Tuck them in. Tuck them in.
I was supposed to sing in all those choruses, wasn't I?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
We'll
was too
be
busy
working on that.
focusing on the mandolin.
So that song's called Girl. We'll probably share that with you again at some point. We're going to do a little instrumental that Bill wrote called The Princess and the Pauper.
I hardly ever play the mandolin, even though I played it for 15 years or 14 years.
Did you?
Yeah, I got it 14 years ago, and right after I got it, I made up this song on it. I couldn't play it, but I could make it up, and I could play it really slowly. And I had the opportunity of recording for the first time with April Virch, and I think it was spring of 2006. And I met up with her on tour over in Michigan, and we used a room in our art gallery to do our recording. And we got all done for the day, and she said, "You got anything else?" And I said, "Well, I got this little tune I made up on the mandolin, and it'd be really fun instrumental to do, I think." And she said, "Well, let's hear it." I said, "Well, that's the problem. I can't play it. But I could tell you, I could play it slowly for you, but I think it's more fast, like a hornpipe." And so I played it for her, and she liked it. And she said, "Why don't you lay down a guitar track, and I'll play a lead fiddle part for it, and then I'll play a harmony fiddle part, and I'll give you some longbow stuff and some chops, and give you stuff to work with that you can then mix into the mix as you produce the song." And so I practiced for about 2 months before I could actually play it on a recording. And I was going to call it Beginner's Luck because I just started playing the mandolin, and I wrote a song. I thought it was kind of fun. And but then once I recorded it with her, I renamed it The Princess and the Pauper.
Yeah.
I'm the pauper. So you're just going to hear the pauper part right now. And this was recorded, I just re-recorded this on my newest album with
some pros.
with Derek Birkland.
Other pros, yeah.
Yeah, Derek
All right.
Birkland on the fiddle. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. was only a minute
That's
long.
fun.
It's fun for us.
Yeah. So as you know, we always put hobos in the roundhouse on our set, and so that's coming up next. And do sing along because I can hear you. I can hear you singing along. I know you will with hobos in the roundhouse. It's all right. You did great.
I don't know. I need a mandolin pick. This
Okay.
one's too thin. I gotta blame something. So, as many of you know, this is a true story about my grandfather, a German immigrant who married a Norwegian immigrant, which sounds like a joke coming on, but it's not. And he lived up in Virginia, Minnesota, and he worked for the DWPO Railroad, where he was a night foreman eventually. He was a machinist first. And I learned that he used to sneak the hobos in at night and let them sleep indoors. And I was very moved by that. And I wrote this song. It's been recorded by a lot of people now, and I've been honored to see that happen. So here's Hobos in the Roundhouse. And I had a request to learn how to. I've had several people who wanted to learn how to play this song. There's a lot of people that do it, and but I've had some guitar players that wanted me to teach them how to play it. So I'm going to do an instructional video about the way I play it, which is the correct way. And I just let you know, for all you guitar players out there, if I can do it, you can do it.
I don't know.
From 7 to 7, every night of the week, fixing trains in the roundhouse, I work on my feet. And I told my children, I hope the bed bugs don't bite. And I got hobos sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. From Akron and Hinckley, and Prairie du Chien, they are soldiers and lawyers. I believe what they're saying. And I'll rouse them at 4 and they'll head down the line. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Good night, my hobos, rest your vagabond heads on your old knapsack pillows in your gunny sack beds. For a few stolen hours, you'll be all right. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Well, they hired a new man to work as a guard. Every morning at sunrise, he checks out the yard. But for now, I won't trust him, though he seems pretty nice. 'Cause I got hobos sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Good night, my hobos, rest your vagabond heads on your old knapsack pillows in your gunny sack beds. For a few stolen hours, you'll be all right. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Well, I asked my Savior, what should I do? If I'm caught helping hobos, my job could be through. And I heard the answer so clear and so bright. Are my hobos sleeping in your roundhouse tonight? Good night, my hobos, rest your vagabond heads on your old knapsack pillows in your gunny sack bed. For a few stolen hours, you'll be alright. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. For a few stolen hours, you'll be alright. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Good night, boys. All right, this is fun. Bert and Dottie are watching, and they're in town here. They're from St. Petersburg, but they're in town here. And they are enjoying their prize as they're listening.
All right.
So they were listening a month or two ago, and we had a contest. Well, it was about a month ago. We were on the front cover of the Inside Bluegrass magazine for the Minnesota Bluegrass and Old Time Music Association for the July issues. I guess I should say we are on the front cover. It's a current issue, and they did a multi-page story about our lives and our music, and we were very blown away and honored by that. And whenever somebody notices us, we get kind of shocked. And so what was I going to say? Oh, so the picture was from Uncle Calvin's Coffee House from about 10 years ago down in Dallas, Texas. And I'm playing the guitar, and we're on one mic, which normally when we do a show, we're using two separate mics. But Kate is over by me, near me. And I asked the audience if they could identify what song we were singing when that picture was taken. And Bert got the correct answer, which was Billy Ed Wheeler and Jerry Lieber, Jerry Lieber's big hit from Johnny and June Jackson. And Bert got it right, and Bert is now sitting in Duluth, right in this town, and
Enjoying a cider.
he's enjoying his 4-pack of Wild State cider.
Is he drinking all 4 of them?
Are you drinking all 4, Bert? If he doesn't answer, I'll say yes. Yeah. And hey, Sarah Berkland's watching.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. Sarah's our bass player whenever we have a band show, which has been since 2019. And so we had a couple of scheduled for the summer, but they've been canceled now. I don't think we have anything scheduled yet. But so that's all the news I've got for right in front of my face here. So we're going to move it now to Take It As It Comes.
Right.
And Kate is going to play flute on another song. This is a song I wrote in Colorado at the Rocky Mountain Folk Festival Song School. And there was things that happened. Every little phrase in here is something that happened to me. It could be just a half a line even, and I put it together with something else that happened and put it all together and into this song. It was really about finding peace amongst trouble. And when I was writing it, I just wrote it, and then I was trying to come up with a guitar part for it later, and I came up with this capo position. Now some of you are looking. You can see I've got a 5-string capo here. I'm covering just 5 of the strings and leaving the bottom E open because it's in the key of E. And then I've got, that's covering these 5 strings on the 2nd fret. And up here, I've got a 3-string capo covering 3 strings. And that's E. Those are all notes from the E chord. But this note's not. And I'm trying to find peace amongst trouble, so I wanted to have that discordancy in here. So there's that extra F sharp that doesn't belong there in the normal major chord. And so it just turned out I was able to play this. And I don't know, I was a novice at the time when I came up with this. I just thought, well, it makes sense if you bar an A shape right up here, it's an E chord. And so I put it on those 3 strings. And I was playing it in a songwriter round with Randall Williams, who's a partial size capo expert. Lives up in Hallowell, Maine. And hey, that's where Scott King lives too. I wonder if he knows him. And I've played there. And that was a weird night. People do say they like hearing the story, so I'm going to tell one right now. I was going up to do a show with Scott, and he worked at Kent Hill School, and he said I could stay in the teacher's dorm. They had a room that was open. And so I arrived at night and got into the dorm, found my room, and it was like Sleepy Hollow. It was in late October, and the leaves were all down, and the wind was blowing. It's up on a hill, Kent's Hill, Maine, and outside of Hollowell. And but on my way up there, I'd left a gig at the Cantab Lounge in what's the name of that now? Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I'd driven up there afterwards, drove all the way up to Maine. And I got on there, and I got past Portland, and then and he said, just follow the road. Don't worry, it's going to seem weird. So I did that. I got through, and then I came across. This is like 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. I don't know, maybe 2 in the morning, and there was a exit sign that says Exit 10, formerly Exit 10. And I thought I had gone into the Twilight Zone. Well, they were renumbering. Back in the Northeast, they used to have their exits sequentially. So here's the first exit, we'll call it Exit 1. Then we'll make another exit, not thinking that we're going to build a few roads in between there. So they decided to start changing them over from sequential to mileposts. So as you know, like in Minnesota here, all the exit numbers are actually the miles from the border or the miles from the beginning of that highway. So when you're coming up from Minneapolis, you go through downtown Minneapolis or so, it's kind of like milepost 100, and you get to Duluth, it's milepost 256 downtown. That means we're 256 miles from the Iowa border. There's a little lesson in mileposts for you and exit numbers. So they had renumbered theirs, and it just turned out that milepost 10 was 10 miles from the border. And so it ended up keeping the same number. I just don't know why they put the sign on there, formerly Exit 10, because that wouldn't be true. It's still presently. They could have put presently Exit 10. So that's a little story about traveling. So I got this chord, and I found out that I could play the guitar between the capos if I play the outside strings. I missed my day in court today, 'cause my truck was overheating. So I pulled in by a stream and parked. It was just what I was needing. I've learned to take it as it comes. There's just no use in worrying about it now. Take it as it comes. Tomorrow has a way of changing anyhow. I picked an apple that was hanging over me, but it was sour, so I threw it in the river. And I thought of how she made me feel, now the life I tried to give her. I've learned to take it as it comes. There's just no use in worrying about it now. Take it as it comes. Tomorrow has a way of changing anyhow. As I watched that apple float away, this thought occurred to me, that its seed may end up in the belly of a fish or grow into a tree. I've learned to take it as it comes. There's just no use in worrying about it now. Take it as it comes. Tomorrow has a way of changing. Tomorrow has a way of changing. Tomorrow has a way of changing
couple notes in there.
So we just practiced that a couple hours ago. It's those 9 new notes.
Yeah, we might add some more
Yeah, we'll add
next
some
time.
more. See, what she's mimicking there is the cello part, and the cello can hold their breath
Yeah.
a long time because of the bow. He just,
I can hold my breath for about 2 seconds, but anyway.
and she can do a double stop too and play 2 notes and
Yeah.
everything. So there is a guy that played on one of my earlier albums that could play 2 recorders at the same time.
I've
as
seen
well.
that, yeah.
So,
So
we're
we're
gonna
going to do
Yeah.
Michael.
we're gonna have I don't know if Terry Mayer Mateer is still watching, but she's the director of Big Top Chautauqua, and we had the honor of playing there with. I had the honor of playing there. It was a 5-songwriter night, and it was myself, and it was Karen Mall and Buddy Mondlock, and Bill Steens and Michael Peter Smith on the roster, and Buddy and Karen and I played in the round for the first set, and then for the next set it was Bill Steens taking and turns with, and not taking turns, but splitting the set with Michael Peter Smith. And a lot of people have heard us talk about all of them, and we're sad to know that Michael Peter Smith is in hospice care now with colon cancer, and our hearts go out to him. He became a good friend, and I'm not trying to pretend he's a good friend, like a close friend, but we've done a number of things together, and whenever we did, he'd always hang out and talk. And he told me a wonderful story, which some of you will relate to because it had to do with something I do in shows. And he was best friends with Steve Goodman. Steve Goodman, of course, wrote The City of New Orleans, Good Morning America, How Are You? And he and Steve used to he was also very good friends with John Prine and part of the Chicago thing, and which was pretty amazing. And Michael is also a Tony-winning composer. I wrote the music for the Grapes of Wrath on Broadway, and
And the Snow Queen.
he wrote the Snow Queen at the Victory Gardens Theater in Chicago. Just a brilliant, brilliant writer. I've always said Michael Peter Smith is, to me, one of the 5 best songwriters that I've ever known. Actually, that I know of. 5 best songwriters, especially American. And just a brilliant songwriter. And when I got back to playing guitar again, I didn't play, like I said, for 25 years. And the first song I went to look up to learn again when I got a guitar again, very, very first song, I went online because we had internet by then. And I went online and I looked up the chords and the words for The Dutchman by Michael Peter Smith. Now, I thought, and a lot of people do, that Steve Goodman wrote it. Just because you think the person that's singing it, like people think Johnny Cash and June Cash wrote Jackson, but you often think that. But I'm a stickler for finding out who wrote the songs and becoming more and more of one. And so Michael told me one time we were at the Kerrville Folk Festival, and he and I spent quite a bit of time just sitting around talking. And we were talking about critiquing, because at the class we had just been in, there had been some critiquing. And I'd just written November Bloom, and I played it there. It had never been recorded, and it had been critiqued. And he said, "Well, I'm not really big into critiquing." He said, "The only person that really ever critiques my songs now is my wife." And he said, "But what I'll do is I'll take a song that I think is pretty finished, and I'll go and play it for a live audience, and I can tell from the live audience if I've got them, if I'm staying connected with them, if those strands are still humming." And I get to a point maybe in the 3rd verse, and I think, that's not working. That's something that didn't work. So I go back and I rewrite it. And I keep doing that till I feel that I've captured the audience with my story. And I thought that was so wonderful. And he said, now back in the days, Steve and I, he said, used to come together in the living room, and I would play him one of my songs, and he'd tell me what he thought of it. And then it was his turn, and he would stand up in the living room like he was playing in front of 300 people, and he'd play the song like in front of this big audience, and he'd say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you" up in the balcony too. And I picked up on that, and I've ever since then I've said thank you up in the balcony, even though there was no balcony. But thanks to Michael Peter Smith for sharing that story with me. And another thing that was significant, when my brother was in his last couple of years of cancer, he came to the Big Top Chautauqua songwriting weekend, that same weekend. And he sat in on all those classes. He sat in on Michael Peter Smith's class about writing from life. And he was just so affected by it. He was very, very moved by it. He became so intuitive and sensitive in his final years. It was just amazing. And So I could say a lot about him and a lot about how he affected me, my brother. And so I'd like to share the Dutchman with you now. And he also said there was something that was kind of funny. He said, he said this in the class. I don't think he said privately to me. He said, you know what really is buggy when people do your songs and put them on YouTube. He says, one time I was Googling my songs and Googling the Dutchman to see who's doing it, you know. And this guy gets on there and he's in his bedroom, sitting on his bed, and he says, yeah, here's a song I really like, and all my friends cringe when they hear me do it. They all roll their eyes, but I like it. And then he plays it and he goes, well, I can hear why they're cringing and rolling your eyes. I wish you wouldn't put it on here. And of course now you can, well, yeah, I don't know much you can do about that, but I'll tell you one thing. I haven't heard a bad version of Hobos in the Roundhouse.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we've heard great versions
The
of that
people have
song.
done Monroe Crossing, Ronnie Cox, others. So this is the Dutchman, so this song had a big effect on me. I played it when I was a young singer-songwriter. It was one of the cover songs that I did. And again, like I said, when I came back to music, this was the first song I looked up and learned again. And thank you, Michael Peter Smith, for your life of brilliant, brilliant, brilliant songs. How's it going?
Yeah. There.
No. Oh, I got it. Okay.
I thought.
The Dutchman's not the kind of man keeps his thumb jammed in the dam that holds his dreams in. But that's a secret that only Margaret knows. When Amsterdam is golden in the morning, Margaret brings him breakfast. She believes him. He thinks the tulips bloom beneath the snow. He's mad as he could be. Margaret only sees that sometimes. Sometimes she sees her unborn children in his eyes. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. The Dutchman still wears wooden shoes, his cap and coat are patched with the love that Margaret sewed in. Sometimes he thinks he's still in Rotterdam. Watches tugboats down canals and calls out to them when he thinks he knows the captain. Till Margaret comes to take him home again, through unforgiving streets that trip him, though she holds his arm. Sometimes he thinks he's alone and he calls her name. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. The windmills whirl the winter in. She winds his muffler tighter as they sit in the kitchen. Some tea with whiskey keeps away the dew. He sees her for a moment calls her name, she makes the bed up singing some old love song. A song Margaret learned when it was very new. He hums a line or two. They hum together in the dark. The Dutchman falls asleep. Margaret blows the candle out. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me.
Michael Peter Smith. All right.
I don't do that song enough.
Well, we had a request, Keith Garvin's, for a song that I think you called Stonewall, but it's called Old Fences, which is, of course, you called it Stonewall because when we were in Ireland together, Bill and I sang this on a stone wall. It was a great, great trip. Keith and Marcia were with us, and so we're going to share with you Old Fences.
Yeah, this is I'm in the process of making this into a music video. I've got about halfway done. I realized that on our recording, which is on the album Matching Baggage, we do it a little slower than we do now. So I'm not going to use the original recording for the music video. I'm going to do a live. We're going to just record it together and use that for the. And then we'll use some of that recording, a video in the video as well. But it's got to be at the same tempo, you know. And otherwise, it'd be like. Otherwise, it may as well just mute it like we did for the first 17 minutes of tonight's show. So I've been going around taking pictures and videos of different old fences and stone walls and things, and all of these are so far from our town or places we've been. And I'd like to find the ones from up on by Columbia River. I found this. We were driving down from there, and there was this beautiful stone wall all along in the woods, and it was covered with moss and cracks. And gee, I wonder where I got that. No, actually, I got the inspiration from up on Union Lake, I think, or Maple Lake, Minnesota. But the Iron Gate to let us through is actually a gate at what's called Fabriger Hill here in Duluth on Columbus Avenue. And I went over and videoed that and got some shots over there. And I'm going back to my sister's house, which is where I was raised, and we had our horses. And I asked her if she had any barbed wire left from our fences when we were kids. And she said there might be some, we can go look for it. And because they'd pulled most of it out, they don't have horses anymore. And if you don't have a reason to have barbed wire, you might as well pull it out.
Yeah, no one could get hurt.
It's not friendly.
All right.
So we're doing
Old Fences.
Old Fences, yeah, that's right. I didn't bring the harmonica, but
We'll have to let it go this
we'll
week.
skip it. We'll
Yep.
skip the harmonica. I like old fences where they've fallen into disrepair. A few slats missing and the wood is weathered bare.
Old fences bring to me a sense of time, of history, stretched between the posts of faded memories. But
Nothing lasts forever. It'll all fall down like wood and stone and metal, returning to the ground. No, nothing lasts forever, except the finest kind, like the joy I feel when you're on my mind. I like those old stone walls built along a woodland road, cracks and moss growing up and down each side.
I like those stone walls too, an iron gate to let us through, down a path into a world that's out of view. But
Nothing lasts forever. It'll all fall down like wood and stone and metal, returning to the ground. Oh, nothing lasts forever, except the finest kind, like the joy I feel when you're on my mind. Walls and fences all about, they keep it in and they keep it out. They let you know how life has been. Sometimes they're best for straddling.
Built by kids and cattle kings with twisted wire, secret things. Safety lies behind the line. What's yours is yours and mine is mine.
Nothing lasts forever. It'll all fall down like wood and stone and metal, returning to the ground. Oh, nothing lasts forever, except the finest kind, like the joy I feel when you're on my mind. There's a joy I feel when you're on my mind. There it is.
All right. So I know someone requested this next song, and I don't remember who, but
Might have been Phil and Diana.
yeah. So it's Lucinda Williams' "Side of the Road." I'm going to share this with you. It's a
Wait, it might have been-
beautiful song that Bill picked out, and it's on Cable 3.
Yeah.
And decided that we would put it on my CD, and here we go.
Her beautiful CD called From Home.
So Lucinda Williams, "Side of the Road." You wait in the car on the side of the road. Let me go and stand a while. I don't want to know you're there, but I want to be alone. If only for a minute or two. I want to see what it feels like to be without you. I want to know the touch of my own skin against the sun, against the wind. I walked out in a field, grass was high, it brushed against my legs. I just stood and looked out at the empty space in a farmhouse out of ways. And I wondered about the people who lived in it. And I wondered if they were happy and content with the children and a man and a wife. And did she love him and take her hair down at night? If I stray away too far from you, don't go and try to find me. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I won't come back and stay beside you. It only means I need a little time to follow that unbroken line to a place that I used to always go, place that I used to know.
Where the wild things grow.
La 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 la. If only for a minute or two, I want to see what it feels like to be without you. I want to know the touch of my own skin against the sun, against the wind. right.
That's okay. We're doing all I want to do. Hey Heidi, this is for you and Art's memory, and for Bob and Cheryl request this one a lot, and we want to dedicate that to you as well, Bob and Cheryl. Cheryl, yeah, down in Bourbon, Missouri, the Show Me State, whereas Minnesota's the Show Me Again state. Didn't get it the first time.
All right. So how are you all doing? Happy Monday to you, and thank you again for being with us. And
Frank
We
and
hope
Cheryl
you're
are
doing
watching
well.
Frank and Cheryl
Oh,
are watching.
hi, Frank. Hi,
in
Cheryl. Yes,
Nebraska, Kate's birth state.
Good to see you, Frank and Cheryl. You know, you miss everyone.
Hey, Michael and Barbara.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Barbara.
And all of our other OSS people that are here. OSSP is the Oscar Scherer State Park. Davis and
Oh,
Linda are
hi.
watching.
Hi.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys are
All
coming
right.
up to visit us. Wow, there's too many things to comment on right now here, but we'll be getting online afterwards and sending back messages. So and when you get a message saying Bill and Kate commented on your post, then you'll know we answered you.
So this is dedicated to you, Heidi, and Art, and Cheryl and Bob.
And I don't have the fourth verse. Sorry, Bob and Cheryl. You are the path. I don't have it. All I want to do is love you. And in your arms where I want to be. All I want to do is love you. Darling, your love has set me free.
Hey, tired of my needed? You are the key to my diary.
Never. I'd pay you to put it there.
With you, all my secrets are safe. You are the pages giving me a place where I can reveal all of me.
All I want to do is love you. And in your arms is where I want to be. All I want to do is love you. Darling, your love has set me free.
Take it, Bill.
You are my final destination. The reason I walk down this narrow road. I see the signs telling me you're mine. You make it easy knowing which way to go. All I want to do is love you. And in your arms is where I want to be. All I want to do is love you. Darling, your love has set me free.
You are the flowers in my garden. I tend to you each day. You take it in, the sun, the wind, and the rain, and you don't hold back. That's love.
That's love. All I want to do is love you. And in your arms is where I want to be. All I want to do is love you. Darling, your love has set me free.
We do have some flowers here that are from our garden, right here, and we also have, they're mixed with another bouquet that was, that Betsy and Alan and Ava and Claire brought for us. We had a wonderful visit, so thank you for that, and so those are right there.
This is Davis and Linda's first time watching us.
Oh,
Oh,
well, hello.
you guys have a lot of inside jokes that they don't know about.
Let's see. Oh, I'm going to play the guitar on this next song. This was requested by two people, Aaron Marine and Bert. So this is
Yeah.
Little Blue.
I'm going to try to figure out, for those of you that joined us after the first 17 minutes, you didn't miss anything except for us silently singing here because the microphone had turned off for some reason. I said to restart it. And the point I'm having is that normally these just become available on our site afterwards. But I'm going to go in and see if there's any way if I can trim off that first 17 minutes. And I certainly do it before we upload it to YouTube. I always upload them to YouTube now at night so our friends in England can watch them on their big screen TV the next day. And so you can subscribe to our panel. I think our channel is actually called Bill Isles Music on YouTube.
All right. So we're going to share with you a song called Little Blue that I wrote. My mother and my cousin Mary were plein air painting along the Little Blue River in Nebraska. And the painting that my mom painted, which is titled Little Blue, she gave it to me as a gift, and I was sitting in front of it. It's been a few years, and I started fiddling along with the guitar as I was looking at it, and I put together this song called Little Blue. And in the song, Little Blue is talking about the river, is talking about Nebraska, or Little Blue is directly speaking to my grandmother Leona Longquist, and they lived in Hastings. So. Little blue, little blue, your veins flow through, little blue. Nebraska plains and grandma's hands, little blue. You never climbed a mountain, you never heard the sea, but always watched a winding road that wandered aimlessly among unshaded meadows, a farm, a pasture ripe with black-eyed Susan's level fields. These comprised your life. Little blue, little blue, we found you, little blue, in a small book that you kept close to you, little blue. In worn-out pages there were cut-out pictures of little birds and children. The 23rd song. Did you ever long to travel? Feel the urge to search? You took your journey that 2 miles on Sundays to the church. Little blue, little blue, the love you knew, little blue. A night between the sheets that dried between the apple trees, little blue. Did he hold you tight? Were there tender words in the night? Or did he show his love through hard work, sweat and dirt? We come from preachers and farmers, carpenters, poets and artists. Your life flows through us, little blue. Little blue, little blue, I'm counting on you, little blue. banks can't hold the swollen spring rains, let them break through. And I will grab that painting just so you can all see it. I know a lot of you have, but in case you haven't, I'm going to grab that.
That was awesome, honey. Thank you. It's an honor to play with you.
I like what you do on that song. You know I do.
So you can put it right up in here, I think would be about right.
So this is a painting
That's good. Yeah.
that my mother gave to me called Little Blue. Corrine Bernatz, if you want to know more about her, she does have a website, I do believe. I think it's up and running still.
Yep.
So Corrine, Corene, Bernatz. Yeah, so I love this painting. I just treasure it. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom-in-law.
So, you want to introduce the next song? JAX.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we got two songs left, and so
That was a request.
as you'd know, we are, and Bert requested this song too. So Bert, you're getting your two requests here near the end of the show. As you know, we have a special way we end our shows, and that is that we say we have two songs left, and then but we're gonna do the last song first, and then we'll have a sitting ovation after that. And you can, there's a thing on the side of your screen where you can like hit this little heart thing, and little hearts will fly up. See that? See on your feed now? I'm just tapping on that heart, creating all those hearts going up like that. Look at that. Beautiful. So, and you can hit the thumbs up or the hearts, or you can even do the belly laugh. You know, ha ha ha. And, or if we're doing a sad song, you can throw a couple tears in there. Oh, yeah. So, just thought I'd mention that. So we're going to do Jackson because Bert wanted us to do Jackson, and Jackson's the one we're doing on the cover of the Inside Bluegrass magazine.
Cute puppy alert. Can I just hold Violet while I sing this? Oh,
Sure.
I don't know though.
She'll be fine.
It's such it kind of needs attention, this song. But I just wanted you to see
What are you
Violet.
doing there, huh?
Oh well, we better get going, I guess. I could grab Gus too, but here we go.
You can't
Thanks,
grab them
Violet.
both. I don't know if Gus will let you grab them.
No.
He gets moody at night.
Yeah, he's moody at
He's
night.
sitting
He
over
has
there
a
now.
special mood he gets into at night.
Yep.
We're working on that one. All right, I'm ready. Who wrote
So
this
this-
song?
Billy Ed Wheeler and Jerry Lieber.
Yeah.
And we are doing it now. And then this is our last song.
Right.
And then if you want to yell encore and stuff, then we'll
Because
do
we
it.
can hear you.
Then we'll do the encore afterwards. Yeah. We got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. I'm gonna mess around. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. Look out, Jackson Town.
Go on down to Jackson. Go ahead and wreck your health. Go play your hand, you big talking man. Make a big fool of yourself. You're going to Jackson. Go cut your hair.
I'm gonna snowball Jackson.
See if I care.
Well, when I breeze into that city, people gonna stoop and bow. All them women gonna make me teach them what they don't know how. But first I'd have to find out what they don't know how. I'm going to Jackson. You turn loose of my coat. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson.
Goodbye was all she wrote. Well, they laugh at you, Jackson. Now be dancing on a pony keg. They'll lead you around town like a scalded hound with your tail tucked between your legs. You're going to Jackson, you big talking man. And I'll be waiting in Jackson behind my J-Pan fan.
A J-Pan fan, I looked it up, and I like to learn about different cultures. And a J-Pan fan is a fan from the island nation of Japan. And that's a lesson in world geography and southern vernacular. ever sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. Yeah, we're going to Jackson, and that's a fact.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're going to Jackson. Ain't never coming back. It's right down there on I-90,
Yes.
Jackson, Minnesota.
All right.
All right. Oh gosh. Look at
It's
it.
the end of the show.
Oh, let's see what we got here.
Okay, so we always end our shows almost every time with Edie Brickell and Steve Martin's Friend of Mine, which we have taken this song and turned it into a duet. It is on Kate's CD, and here it is for you, our friends. And think of your best friend when we sing this for you. Think of your friends. Think of each other
I got some
and how
news.
we need each other.
I got a news alert.
What is it?
This just in.
What?
Just about 2 hours ago, I was booked to do a solo show Thursday night in Duluth
Yes.
at Ursa Minor Brewing. They had
Yes.
a cancellation. She wrote to me, said, "Can you fill this in?" I said, "I can do it solo because Kate won't be available." And she said, "Yes, please do it." So 6 to 8 o'clock
Right.
on Thursday night, I'll be playing locally here, doing a lot of songs that I don't normally do. And
I wish I could be there because I have some songs I would ask.
you would
you
ask
to
for,
do,
like,
yeah.
why don't you send your requests in early?
Okay, I
Yeah,
will.
Yeah.
And if you do go, the
probably do, like,
pizza
through her
is really, really good. The wood-fired pizza at Ursa Minor is yummy, and they have, of course, many beers to choose from, and they also have kombucha.
Maybe I'll get
And if the weather's nice, it's really lovely out there. So
maybe I'll get Too Much Too Late together done by then.
maybe you will.
Maybe I will, because that's a solo song. It goes like this. Too much caressing what you used to slap around. Too much trying to rescue what you always tried to drown. Too much magic after pulling all your tricks. Too much is broken, man, it can't be fixed. It's too much, too late. Now she's somewhere out on the interstate. Driving who knows where, you know she'll never let it happen again. Too much, too late. Now there's nothing left to negotiate. Driving who knows where, you know she'll never let it happen again. That's one verse of it.
Okay, that'll happen on Thursday.
I'm going to get it together and finish it by Thursday.
Okay.
Yep, guaranteed.
So we are going to share with you Edie Brickell and Steve Martin's song called "Friend of Mine." It's from their album. In case you didn't hear this before and we didn't share this with you, it's from their album called "Love Has Come for You." It's a beautiful album, and here we go. You've been a friend of mine for such a long, long time. Made me laugh and seen me cry. Called me to say hi.
The world is such a crazy place, full of joy and pain. What would I do without you? Here to keep me sane.
I've seen revolving doors. I've been a stepping stone. I don't know what I did wrong. Why they left me alone.
When everybody lets me down, you lift me up again. What would I do without you? My old faithful friend. You've been a friend of mine for such a long, long time. Made me laugh and seen me cry. Called me to say hi. What would I do without you?
Good night, friends. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you all.
Look forward to next Monday night with you again.
we're gonna hop on our computers now and go through the comments and answer them and read them and find out. I'm gonna look up to see if I can figure out how to trim off that first 17 minutes.
All right. Thank you for being with us.
Or we
Great
could
to
just
see
we
you
could
all.
just record ourselves dubbing our voices over it. Hey, will you take my guitar and put it over there? Thank you, before I knock anything else over.